Okay, lest I forget. I had a few things I wanted to cover. One was when I was referring back to whether or not people had noticed that there's this rainbow, or I should say quasi or co-opted rainbow superiority here. And by co-opted, I mean, you know, look, they took something as beautiful as the colors of human beings. You know, all the rainbow of colors, and they co-opted that with who they're sleeping with. And that's how they identify themselves. Whereas, you know, you're born whatever color you are. And of course their argument is that their sexual orientation is something that they're born with. Certainly sexual orientation is something that you're born with. And I would submit to you that the gay and lesbian community, by and large, are victims of some form of child abuse. I bet you that's probably like not necessarily child abuse, but sexual abuse of some kind, whether it be from a relative, or an adult, acquaintance of the family or something of that nature, whether it be male or female, makes no difference. I believe that their behavior in acting out in a homosexual manner is manifest of the injury that occurred to them, and that this is in many cases common with those kinds of abuse cases. And you know, this is something that segment of the population isn't talking about. What they'd rather do is fucking normalize it, okay? Because they'd have to look in the closets of their families, and they don't want to do that for the shame that it brings about. Rather than get into the solution and experience some psychological healing and eradicating that kind of fucking behavior in the first place through healthy communications and recognition and recognizing that that behavior is a symptom of a very emotional, a very traumatic emotional event, horrific traumatic event that occurred to them through no fault of their own. Plus you have those that are kind of enticed into that through the modeling that they're doing. They're modeling that behavior is acceptable. For example, in the new Star Trek. You know, in the old Star Trek, and the one I grew up with, Sulu liked women. But turns out apparently the actor that was playing him was a homosexual in hiding. So in the new one, the new Sulu has a homosexual lover, and apparently they have a child together. And they model this as acceptable in the movie. Man, that is just fucked up, okay? This is how they introduce this and reinforce this in society. Now what the fuck does the original guy being gay have to do with, or maybe he was molested, okay? Maybe he was molested and he hasn't talked about it because of the shame that it might bring upon his family or something. Who knows, okay? I'm just supposing that. I wouldn't doubt it though, okay? I would say at least 60%. Now, those in the gay community, whatever you want to call yourselves, you know that to be the case. You know it amongst yourselves, in talking amongst yourselves. You know that's more true, that what I've stated is the truth. And clearly there are exceptions here. But I'm talking overwhelmingly dealing with this behavior that society has made socially acceptable. You know, that goes against my core values ever since I was little, and I will not ever change that. That is a core value. I mean, I would share the belief with the Judaism that it's an abomination unto creation to do that. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's wrong. It's not healthy. Now, hey, you know what? I'm not here to debate that with you. You can do that yourself. I don't really give a fuck, okay? I'm merely pointing out a fact that if you think it's a coincidence that most of those individuals just happen to be or survivors of some sexual molestation in their lives, well, I would say that that you're really in denial, okay? So, I am not in agreement that that's proliferated. I don't like it. I won't allow it for my family, or I would never encourage anyone I love to do that. So the other issue I wanted to point out is that, you know, this girl that did the genealogy study and came up with that all the presidents are interrelated, and they're all related to the John Locke, 1166 to 1216, the first signer of the Magna Carta, and that they're all related through English ancestry, whereas Van Buren is Dutch. That's why his ancestry doesn't lead back to the 12th century king. So, you know, has anybody ever considered that just quite possibly that we're living in a closet monarchy would kind of fit the whole closet homosexuality? Oh, that is fucked up. Yeah, a closet monarchy, okay? To where really behind the scenes with the choice, the selections of presidents, and you're given the illusion of choice. Because if you think it's a coincidence that if that young lady's work is correct, then it would mean that that's all being selected and chosen, and your input has nothing to do with it, or very little, if anything at all, other than choosing between the ones that they choose for you to choose amongst. Kind of like the president choosing the chairman of the Federal Reserve. They make it look like he's got to search the fucking countryside. He gets to choose who they pick for him. You know what? It's all a big fucking snow job, okay? It's just fucking total bullshit, okay? So, how does that play out in giving every American a fucking equal footing and an even playing field, huh? You know, that if you work hard, you too can be president. Nope, not unless you're of English ancestry, okay? And your lineage can go back to the 12th century king, John Locke, of the Magna Carta. And oh, I might add that the serfs didn't even get to enjoy the benefits of the Magna Carta for another 250 years, based on the information that I've read about it. It was only extended to the lords because the lords wanted to be able to put the fucking king in check, because he was a dishonest son of a bitch. That's why. You'd never have to worry about that with the righteous king. So, anyway... So, how does America feel now? Is it, you know, a closet monarchy? Holy fuck, that is some fucked up shit. So, just something to think about. Ponder that. Do the research. Check it out online. Look, I've posted it on my Facebook so you can take a good look at it and think about it, you know? Look at the colors of the flag and look at a lot of the countries that we have close associations with and we share the same colors, you know? Hey, these people are into all of that kind of, you know, Illuminatiism and just crazy, twisted shit. But I'm gonna think about it some more. I'll let you know what I come up with.